We're on a bit of a time crunch. I recorded this video once already and the microphone glitched out, so I'm having to redo it now. So it's me and Sasha. And yes, I'm wearing a Superman t-shirt with a cape. Ta-da! I know, it's completely ridiculous. I look like a fool. And I'm not going to wear it out in public, so I'll wear it on the channel. I went to a hydroponic store today, only the hydroponic store was no longer there. And I went to the toy store that they had there, because I'm a big old dumb kid, and I got some cool stuff. Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, Pulp Fiction. I also got Quentin Tarantino, where he's a little drug dealer, and they didn't have Uma Thurman or the rest of them, but I'll get that next time. I'll figure that out. You know, they didn't have it in the store. I might have to order that offline. And guess what else I got? Bob Ross. You can't look at Bob Ross and not smile. Anyhow, I've tried to record this once already. It completely glitched out with the microphone, so I am here again, trying again, so it's going to cut this one a little bit short to get it up on time. On my secondary channel, I will be posting a funny, uncensored video of me talking crazy tonight. And, in addition to that, I made it to the hydroponic store. I drove the 12 miles away that it was in its new location since it's been decriminalized in this state. They don't only sell to people who are illegally growing. They actually sell to people that are doing decriminalized things, like me, now that I'm on federal probation. Following the law down to a T, by the way, but be some interesting stuff on my secondary channel, so check it out there. So, freak nasty stuff in prison. So, I spent most of my 20s in federal prison, and I'm a straight dude. Ain't no way cutting around it. You know, certain stuff for you, certain stuff ain't for you. Okay? You know, and I'm a straight dude. So I had about 6 dirty magazines. They have a printing press at Petersburg. Any dirty magazine that makes it to security. Come here, girl. Shake your butt down. Gets copied with high quality printers at the printing press. If you have a calendar on your wall, chances are it came from Petersburg Low. If you get coat hangers that get thrown in a box after you buy your stuff at the store, it probably gets sorted at Petersburg Medium. They sort coat hangers at the Medium. But at the low security, they had them dirty magazines, and that's what I had to get down with, because that's a straight dude, you know what I mean? You know, it's kind of like I look at mayonnaise and I'm like, that ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Whew, dang, your breath smells like shark shit. Anyway, so I get back to the low security, and the low security visitation is so much more relaxed security-wise. Go figure. Medium security, higher security in the visiting room. Low security, lower security in the visiting room. At the medium security, the guards, where they sit up front, they can see everything. There's about 15 to 20 feet between the last person sitting in their chairs with the little baby table in between them, you eat the little crappy prison food, and the wall. The low security, you line all the way up and down the wall. The guards booth cannot see every inmate from where they sit. People get by with stuff. There was a guy who was getting all kinds of stuff snuck in. He's sneaking hydroxycut, anything else. He didn't have any hookups for any type of, gear or anything like that, but he was sneaking in hydroxycut and stuff like that. People were buying it right up. Okay? Some guards at the low didn't make you, squat, cough, get naked, and, lift your naughty bits and spread them, everything else. Some of them tell you, shake your boxers out. That's as much as I'm going to do. I want to see that. And some of them were some meat gazers who were a little bit odd. You know what I mean? It looked a little bit too close. Yeah. And it was always some of the super cops, too, that was it had some weird tendencies. Let's just say that. There was one that didn't have any eyebrows. Now, if you saw him and the kid in a pool close to the kids, you tell your kids, get out the pool. He might be contagious. Y'all might want to get out that water. I'm telling you, this guy did not look healthy. You can't trust a man with no eyebrows. But anyhow, so there's this guy, and I get put in Richmond Hall when I first get back. 3 floors in the basement, giant building. This guy's from Richmond. Drug dealer, big black dude, about 6'2", 300 pounds. And he had a girlfriend that was about 5'10", 300 pounds. Blonde-headed girl with glasses. And, he's telling me that he got freak nasty in the visitor room. I'm like, how you do that? You do not. I said, man, I do every time. I said, man, you get 8 visits a month. How are you doing every time? I don't believe you. And he's like, man, check it out. and you have to wear khaki pants and a khaki shirt when you go to the visiting room. Have to have a belt on, has to be tucked in. It's what you got to wear. Okay? He cut a hole in his khaki pants pockets. Okay? At the low security, they let you sit up next to your family. Like sit up, like up against them. Sometimes put your arm around, depending on who's working. Depending on who's working, just the very minimum amount of affection, other than an embrace at the start and end. Sasha, no man, could get you sent to the hole, depending if the wrong person's working. But anyhow, the man, look over at me next time. I said, I want to look at you if you're doing that. He said, man, look over, you'll see. I'm not messing with you because, see, I was with my ex, the hussy, back then, and being a kid in my 20s, I'm kind of wondering, how's he doing this? Is he really doing this? So in the visiting room, I couldn't help but look over. And he's waiting for me to look. And he's sitting there with one arm around her, the other hand behind his head, and he's like, and I'm like, he was doing it. Yeah. She was sitting right up against him, and you couldn't even tell her hand was down in his pocket. They had a method down. Now, depending on which guard was working, it's going to search your drawers when you got out of there. Might have a nasty surprise left in them drawers. If those guards searched thoroughly, that'd be an awful surprise for somebody to have to catch being one of them guards. But he was dang doing the thing. Okay? Other people do certain stuff, at the low security, people get by with a little bit more. The embrace at the start, the embrace at the end. At the end, you could tell when the guards, if it was the cool guards nod at me and they'd be like, and that's when you could stand up, start making out or whatever. And then 20 seconds later, I'd say, all right, everybody, wrap it up. And then you'd have another 30, 45 seconds. Basically, it's like high school, you know what I mean? Feeling each other up, kissing, all that stuff, and it's basically, just enough to piss you off. No thrills. A kid in my 20s, it was no fun. Don't go to prison. I spent my 20s in federal prison, okay? And if you are a straight dude, there are not options. You're not allowed to have dirty magazines. So if they find the dirty magazines, you get in trouble. They're going to take your phone, internet, visits, commissary. They're going to starve you if they catch you with the dirty magazine. And, but I mean, that's what it was for me. So Jamie Jones, I got some funny stories about him. I think he's back in prison. When he gets out, I'll get him on here. He has a funny story. He had a trick he play on people. Say, Jamie Jones stomach work. And if you go on his Facebook, you can find him talking about stomach. It's funny stuff. But anyhow, I paid him, $5 a month to give him a bag of coffee every month. And he had like this thing that would shield the light from his bunk where he's in the bottom bunk. And it fit in between those two pieces of blanket that he had made up. They never found nothing. But, I wasn't going to risk me getting caught, my stuff taken away, so it was worth paying him the few dollars in order to hold them. And that was my options. Now, these magazines were crazy, okay? They were wild. Some of them was a little bit too much. You had to skip certain sections of them. They got a little bit gross. But, the magazines have been circulated since for a decade or better. Like I said, they have a printing press where they print calendars at Petersburg Low. So whatever magazines had been there a decade or before, they just kept printing them. They print. There's one magazine. There's 100 magazines. They print it with those high quality printers that print the calendars at Unicor at the low security. So that was all the magazines that had been there, the 6, until they discovered a secret room in maintenance one day. It was a guard's bathroom that had a bookshelf in front of it. Turned out there's a whole stack of Playboys underneath the sink, but that wasn't really like a high dollar commodity with Playboys, because I'm talking, it is some hardcore stuff that they were selling in there as the ones that they're actually selling, the magazines they were selling. Yeah, some wild stuff. Some people collect albums and albums and albums of pictures and of adult stars. That's just like fiendish for me. The thing I never once bought one picture. That was too weird. Now the regular people would get this trailer park girl, next door Nikki, and I say she's like some of her pictures. She's standing in front of a trailer, and if she didn't have the paw prints, it wasn't authentic Nikki. I heard people talking about this all the time, and it was funny. And then Chomos, unfortunately, had a whole business off of them. They get adult stars that had braces and looked underdeveloped. It was messed up. But the magazine, that as a kid of my 20s, that's my only outlet. Now this guy, he's in that visitor room getting freak nasty. He's willing to take that risk. I did the drug program, already got my year off. Going to risk being stuck in prison another 18 months. Anyhow, so that's it for today. If you liked it, press the like button. If not, it's 10 minutes and 12 seconds of your life, in which you'll never get back. But I hope you liked it. And if you don't like the video for me, like it for Bob. I love that.